So, baby, as you can see, it's wet out. It's a little rainy, but still got to go pay some bills. What I want to talk to the tube about today is trucking. Oh yeah, it's a little bit of trucking. As you know, I'm representing the RTIC. I ain't repping that shit for real. Actually, one of my stops I go to is called Cheap Moving Boxes, and they carry the RTIC product. So they're not sponsoring nothing that I do. I just have it on. It's like New Era. You have it on one of their baseball caps, and probably down the long run, I need to put a piece of tape over whatever I put on. Because I'm going to be that big. I'm just letting y'all know right now. I'm going to be a problem. I'm going to be an issue. Oh, did I mention that I'm 11 days sober? Yep. And over 11 days smoke free. Drug free. Been over drug free. Drug free ain't even been in the picture for years. Years on years. So that's not even a factor as far as my life. But yeah, a little bit of trucking life. I've been doing trucking, I want to say about how many years? 4 years? April will be 5 years. I've been with Ground for almost 3 years. This October, I think it'll be 3 years. 2020, I think it'll be 3 years. I believe so. I just been driving. Damn, officer. I just been driving, feel like, for 20 years. That's how much trucking will lap you in life. You could drive for 2 years, make it feel like it's 5 years. You almost lose count because you're not in the loop with what everybody's doing. And if you are in the loop, hey, more power to you. But if you out there just driving and rolling, man, your time seems like, and that's one thing you can't get back is time. And that's the most valuable thing on earth and life is time. So when you're driving that truck for hours on end, days on end, weeks on end, months on end, on top of years, it feel like shit. Like, where have I been? Like, you've been in a time capsule, and now you're trying to catch up with everything else. But like I said, I've been doing almost 5 years. I do love it. I do what I love, and I appreciate it. It's opened so many doors for me and my family. I was stuck in a position in Atlanta, Georgia, where the market, as far as people with just a high school diploma and not a real promising future, it was limited on what you could do. Of course, you could hustle. I'm not going to sit up here and say, okay, I went to high school and that was it, now my life sucks. No, it's some people that, I'm sorry, it's a police up here. It's kind of stopping the flow of traffic. But I'm not saying that you're limited just because you went to high school. Like I said, it's people that didn't graduate from high school and didn't further education. They run their own businesses. They run their own companies. So I'm not saying that you have to have this amount of education to get this amount of money and you gotta live this level of life with this education. I'm not putting the stamp. I'm not putting the cap on anybody's education. I'm just saying for me, as far as what I was faced with, I was doing things I wasn't proud of. I wasn't happy with doing certain things. That could have landed me in maybe jail, could have limited my time with me spending time with my family, if that makes any sense. So trucking saved my life, man. My decision that I made in trucking saved my life, and I can say I'm proud of that. But on the flip side, when I went into it, I thought I was going to be making big money. Boy, was I wrong. But I'm not going to lie, it was a start. It was clearly a start. I'm very appreciative of that beginning stage because it was better than being at home and then doing stuff I ain't had no business doing. So it did help me in that sense as far as starting the lifestyle change. And I can't appreciate it. I can't say thank you enough to the industry because the doors are wide open. It just depends on how far you want to go with it. I went in there thinking I was going to be making $800 to $1,000 to $1,200 a week. Man, I went in through Swift, and the thing is, I had a DUI. I was up to my 6th year. And in Georgia, like I believe everywhere else, you got to wait 7 years until anybody will, take you under their wing. You can, get your CDL. But with Swift, it took me 6 years. It took me 6 years. And what ended up happening was I was doing vending. And the vending machines, I was refilling the vending machines before I even went to Swift. And that's a segue into another topic. But George, a guy named George, a real down-to-earth, solid brother, solid dude. He was working in Atlanta vending too, but he was driving trucks before he started doing vending. And what ended up happening was you had to take the assessment test in Utah, but the pre-assessment test was held in Latonia, close by one of the Swift terminals. And just so happened, George from Atlanta vending, he was instructing the class. And so, you know how we do sometimes. We be thinking that we see somebody we know, we got the hook up on this and that third. George said, look, I'm going to treat everybody the same across the board. When he said that, I knew I didn't have no upper hand over anybody when he stated that. And I was cool with that because I didn't go in there thinking that, or even knowing he was going to be there. I didn't go in there looking for no hookups or none of that stuff. So I just went in there. I was like, man, I got to get my CDL before I end up going to do stuff that I really ain't got no business doing. So went in there, did good on that, passed. And then I didn't know that if you fail a drug test trying to get your CDL, that you can't even go to aviation school. You can't even do that for like the next 7 years. You in a list of people that they ain't gonna touch because all you had to do was say, you know what, I ain't gonna pass this drug test. I'm gonna come back next 2 months or next month and I'm gonna do it then. Some people went in there telling me, man, I'm straight, man, I'm good. Knowing good and well, they did what they did, and ain't no turning back from it. You fail the test, you can't go to aviation school, you can't go get your CDL either. But I know I'm going over here, I'm going over there with stories. I ain't sticking to the subject. This is raw, uncut YouTube to me. This is brand new to me, and it is what it is. But yeah, took the pre-assessment test, did pretty good. Went to Utah in one of the craziest times of the year. It was wintertime, and I didn't know. I'm from Georgia, and with that being said, I haven't really gone outside of the surrounding states and, been to Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama, those surrounding states. But when I went further west coast, I didn't know Wyoming had winters like they do. But when I went up there, we practicing driving trucks in snow, but it was on the yard. We practicing like some of the worst conditions, as snowy conditions, windy. They had a pile-up accident. They killed, I don't want to get the numbers wrong, but they killed quite a few people. It killed quite a few people. It was a major, like I said, a major pile-up. So it was one of those situations where I needed to do something with my life. And I didn't care what type of season. I didn't care what was going on. I just know I couldn't come back home without my CDL. That's the mindset I went with. I said to myself, if I leave this house, I'm not coming back without it. I didn't care what was going on. I wasn't coming back, without my CDL. I mean, I had so many obstacles in front of me. I didn't have a primary care physician. I had high blood pressure. So when they seen that I had high blood pressure to go in after I passed my assessment to go to the Department of Transportation with the DMV over there in Utah, they seen that I was taking medication, but I didn't have my written doctor's agreement onto who prescribed me my medication. So I had to go to the State Farm agent right across from the DMV. Luckily, George was still in the office in Lithonia because he had to get in contact with the lady who cleared me of my high blood pressure and the prescription I brought. So she had to end up being my doctor. I'm telling you, it's so much stuff, and there was so many obstacles put in front of me. But to me, I didn't think of it like that because I didn't see no obstacles. And that's the thing about life and everything else. When you going for what you're going for, those obstacles, they don't even feel like obstacles. They probably feel like, damn, is this meant for me? But at the same time, if you break through that barrier, you're like, okay. The door opened up, even though you had to kick it down. You're like, okay, what else gonna stop me? So that's another life lesson too that I learned. Like, okay, whatever I really want, whatever's for me, and whatever door I got to kick down to get to it, I'm gonna just kick it down. If I get to it, I'll get to it. If I got to take another route, I'm gonna take another route. But I had those situations going on, I had those obstacles to overcome. Got that, and I was horrible at shifting gears. That was, man, I tell you, out of everything, that was one of the things that I put in front of me like, this is it. I'm probably going home. Because it was just shifting gears. That was the biggest test for me. Shifting gears. Everybody else, we went on our trip to, I forgot what, it's an access road. If you in Salt Lake City, Utah, and you went through Swift, I'm pretty sure the other trucking companies took the beginner drivers down that access road. But I forgot the name of it. If somebody can remember, shoot it out there. But they took 4 students out on the first day. Like, we leave the yard, the instructor drives to the access road. We get to the start of the access road, and the instructor has us, switch over to the driver's seat one at a time. I was the 4th, and in my head, I'm like, I see how they do it. He said, well, you got to get the RPMs too, and then you shift it here, you go there, hit the clutch here, hit the clutch, do this and do that in the third. So I'm like, okay. I'm looking at everybody. I'm like, okay, I got this, man. I'm cool on this. Like I said, I was the 4th and final one. Man, he got to me. Everybody else in the back seat. He in the passenger seat. I'm going. First of all, I had a problem with releasing my foot off the clutch, and at the same time applying a little bit of pressure to the gas pedal. So I'm struggling with that. I get that under control. I think I might have been the 3rd going to 4th. And I come out of 3rd going to 4th. And I'm trying to like just, like I get it to 15, highest 17, and just try to throw it in gear. Man, he looked at me. He said, man, you gonna break my truck. And I felt at that moment like, is this for me? I felt like I was destroying this man's tractor. Because the instructors have to use their own tractor. They're owner operators, first of all. And they got to use their own tractors. So I'm up here destroying the clutch and just killing the gears. So he was like, man, you go back to your room and you got to focus on practicing how to shift. So I'm just trying to shift. I like I said, I just torched this man's, torched the gears on the truck. Horrible. The worst in my opinion. But he said, go to the room, practice with, it's like a flash to me now. Like I'm trying to get all this stuff back in my mind because it's so uncut and unedited, and I ain't wrote nothing down trying to, it's unscripted, what I'm saying. But go to your room, get a towel. I believe he said a towel. And I forgot. Anyway, you just imagining shifting gears from 15 to the highest RPM is being 18, and just practice that way. And another thing that caught me off guard was that pre-trip inspection on the trailer. I'm telling y'all, I pre-tripped everything but the trailer when I was studying for pre-trip. And put in. Come on, man, are you serious? And put in mind that we only had like a week. We had 1 week to get our CDL. We had 1 week. I forgot to say that. We had 1 week. Other programs probably spent a month or two. I had one guy that I know of. He works with Snyder. He on a low board program. He went to school for the longest. You know what I'm saying? They made sure you knew your stuff before you left, before they gave you your before you got the approval. But with Swift, bro, I went 1 week. I left Georgia on, I think I left Georgia on Thursday. That next Thursday, I had my license. No, that next Friday, I had my license. So I'm like, I felt it was kind of fast, but when you got no money in your pocket, you don't give a damn what's going on. As long as you get your money and you ain't got to watch your back while you're doing it. So I'm like, all right, okay, I ain't tripping. You know, it's a week. It's a short ass time period, but it's a week. I'm kind of driving, and probably ain't supposed to be doing this. But I could do it. It's just supposed to be hands free. So I do want to continue this video talking about my experience and experiences I've had while driving trucks, because I could write a book about it, about what I've been through, what I'm going through. I got so much stuff going on that it's true. This is the thing. I'm gonna continue this video. I'm gonna conclude this video, but just a little small tidbit. A lot of people say more money, more problems. That's not the case. Take that more money, more problems out of your mind. It's the more money you get, but it's really based on how you manage it and what you're doing with it that can put you in certain situations. So if you come from a background of making like $25,000 a year to making $50,000 a year to making like 68,000 a year, making 90,000 a year. Man, look, I mismanaged some things in my life. All this stuff is gonna be put out in the open because you know what? I'm not doing it for likes. I'm doing it to connect with somebody that has probably gone down that road and probably give me information, or for somebody that's, I'm trying to stop somebody from going down that path, basically. So I'm reaching out to people that, like I said, been down that road of having issues similar to mine, and to try to stop people from going down the road that I've been down, trying to get my stuff straight. But we will go deeper into trucking. I know I was all over the place because like some of my first videos on YouTube as far as making videos and being active in the YouTube community. So enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll try to make another video later on today. If not today, it might be tomorrow while I'm in the truck, because I have a few runs to make. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday, and I'll get back with y'all later.